morning, everyone. Did you know that people, in the famous case of 500,000, bought the mug with 25 riyals, and they used this trend to get more money by offering it in haraj with more than 300 riyals, and some people said it exceeded 1,000 riyal, and they bought it only for 25 riyals, and that seems a real problem with unethical issues about the phenomenon of following viral trends. My name is Mohammed Hassan Zahrani, and this is my presentation topic, which is the phenomenon of following viral trends. This is my email if you want to contact with me. In today's presentation, first I will give you a brief reminder about the research problem and the research objective, and after that I'll go to the results and discuss the results, the findings that I came up with, and discuss it with you, and then I'll move on to the limitations of this study and some suggestions to overcome these limitations. And finally, I will give some recommendations for the next researchers who want to study this case, and I will end up with concluding everything I mentioned in this research. First, I will speak with you about the research problem and aim. Well, the research problem is the serious consequences of following viral trends. There are very serious consequences of following viral trends, such as lack of fit, lack of differentiation, lack of focus, loss of identity, and even ethical issues. And the research aim is to answer the RQs, which are to find reasons why people are following this phenomenon, and to measure the awareness level among Saudi people of this phenomenon, and finally to find methods that help us to deal with this phenomenon. Now let's move on to the results, the main findings, and the discussion. Well, the first RQ was to find the reasons why people are following this phenomenon, why people are following viral trends. I asked a question in the survey. I said, why do you follow viral trends? And as you can see in the picture, most of the people said they follow viral trends out of curiosity. And then in the second place, they chose the entertainment purpose, and then to feel socially connected. They follow trends to feel socially connected. After that, the fourth reason is fear of missing out. It is a psychological reason. It means they fear of missing the trend out if they didn't follow it. And the lowest percentage went to gain popularity in social media. Well, in this question, I asked the results, the findings was that most of the people who follow trends, they follow it out of curiosity and for entertainment. Another question I asked in the survey to find reasons, I asked people, have you ever followed a viral trend without fully understanding it? And most of the people said no. So they don't follow trends until they understand it fully. Well, people follow trends out of curiosity and for entertainment. Most of the people follow trends out of curiosity. Well, if you are curious about something, you want to satisfy your curiosity, so you wouldn't feel relieved until you satisfy your curiosity, and that makes sense. Most of the people who follow trends for entertainment are young people, are teenagers, and most of the people who follow trends to feel socially connected are people who are more than 40 years old. This is shocking. If you in the results, I found that people who are more than 40 years old do follow trends sometimes, or even usually. That was shocking, but when you see the reason to feel socially connected with the community, it will make sense. Well, another thing, following viral trends without fully understand them got 25%. So it's actually high percentage. So 25 of the sample said that sometimes they follow trends without fully understanding them, so they might fall for the consequences of following viral trends. So it is serious. The The second RQ was to measure the awareness level among Saudi people about this phenomenon. I asked the question, do you believe that following viral trends influence people's behaviors and opinions? Well, most of the sample said yes, it influenced people's behaviors and opinions, and actually the people who didn't agree, didn't strongly agree, didn't agree, are actually also high. But most of them do agree that trends sometimes, following viral trends sometimes do affect people. In the second RQ, I asked another question, which is, are you aware of the negative consequences of following viral trends? Most of them are aware of the negative consequences of following viral trends. Following viral trends do affect people. Well, sense of belonging to the community is actually why people viral trends affect on people. This is the positive side of this result, to feel socially connected with the community. And in the negative side, it could spread the negative consequences of following viral trends. It could share some negative ideas for young people of these trends. So this is the negative side. Another thing, the awareness doesn't always lead to a change. So people might think that they are aware of the consequences, but even if they are aware about the consequences, they might fall for it. The third RQ was to find methods that help us to deal with this phenomenon. I asked the question, do you believe that influencers and content creators are responsible for the trends that they promote? Obviously, most of the sample said yes, they are responsible for the trends they promote. I asked another question, which is, do you think more awareness should be raised among Saudi people about this phenomenon? Well, obviously, most of the sample said yes, more awareness should be raised about this phenomenon for Saudi people. Of course, influencers and content creators are responsible for the trends they promote, because influencers means responsibility. They should feel responsible for the trends they promote. They shouldn't promote any trends they see, because young people can watch it and go for it, even if it is unethical or it's not good for young people. So another thing, the awareness about this phenomenon is actually sounds low. As we see in the finding, most of the people think that awareness should be raised about this phenomenon. The consequences sometimes can go unseen. They can't see the consequences until they participated in the trend, and then they see that they lose money, they waste their time, they even could miss opportunities. Now, gentlemen, let's move on to the limitations and suggestions of this study. Well, the sample was only Saudi people, and the duration of making the research and of collecting the data in the survey method was a short period of time, and the collecting data method was only one method, which is survey method. Here are some suggestions to overcome these limitations, which are first, wide range publishing of the survey, and take more time to collect the data and to do the research. Another thing, the collecting data method was only one method, which is the survey method. If it was more than one method, such as survey method and interviews, to get some more honest response and more honest opinions about this phenomenon. The final thing, gentlemen, is the recommendations. Here's some recommendations about this phenomenon. Expanding the time period of publishing the research, publishing the research and collecting the data should be happening for the next researchers who will study this case. Another thing, they have to focus more on the people who follow trends usually, so they can understand the point of their own view about this phenomenon. In conclusion, in this research, the main aim was to find reasons and measure the awareness, and to find methods that help us to deal with this phenomenon, and also to give recommendations about the research problem. We came up with interesting findings, such as the reasons why people follow viral trends is to feel socially connected and out of curiosity and for entertainment. And the second RQ, we answered it by we saw that the awareness level should be raised amongst other people of this phenomenon. And finally, the methods. One of the methods that has to be done in order to overcome this phenomenon, which is the method, which is the sorry. Yes, for influencers and content creators, they should be responsible for the trends they promote. So the government should put some instructions that they shouldn't promote any trend. Take home message: you shouldn't follow a trend unless until you understand it fully, so you can avoid the consequences, such as you don't lose your money or you don't waste your time. Another thing, do not pay attention to any commercial trend. Thank you for listening. If you have any questions, feel free to ask.